In the year 1187, the world witnessed one of the most significant turning points in the history of the Crusades, the Battle of Hattin. A battle that not only shifted the balance of power in the Holy Land, but also cemented Saladin's name in history as a brilliant military leader and a unifier of Muslim forces. Today, we delve into the events leading up to this pivotal clash, the strategies employed, the key figures who shaped the conflict, and the aftermath that reshaped the Middle East for years to come. To understand the Battle of Hattin, we must first grasp the tension leading up to it. For decades, the Crusader states had been a thorn in the side of Muslim kingdoms in the region. The Kingdom of Jerusalem, led at the time by King Guy of Lusignan, and its allies controlled key cities and land routes in the Levant. However, internal divisions plagued the Crusader states, weakening their ability to unify against external threats. Meanwhile, the Muslim world was undergoing its own transformation, driven by the rise of a remarkable leader, Salahuddin Yusuf ibn Ayyub, known to the West simply as Saladin. Saladin, born in Tikrit in 1137, was a Kurd who rose to prominence serving under his uncle Shirkuh, a general of the Zengid dynasty. Over the years, Saladin proved himself as both a capable warrior and an astute ruler. By 1174, Saladin had consolidated his power, becoming the Sultan of Egypt and Syria. What set Saladin apart was his ability to unify the fractious Muslim states under one banner, rallying them for a single purpose: the liberation of Jerusalem. For decades, the Crusader states had been a thorn in the side of Muslim kingdoms in the region. The Kingdom of Jerusalem, led at the time by King Guy of Lusignan, and its allies controlled key cities and land routes in the Levant. However, internal divisions plagued the Crusader states, weakening their ability to unify against external threats. Meanwhile, the Muslim world was undergoing its own transformation, driven by the rise of a remarkable leader, Salahuddin Yusuf ibn Ayyub, known to the West simply as Saladin. Saladin, born in Tikrit in 1137, was a Kurd who rose to prominence serving under his uncle Shirkuh, a general of the Zengid dynasty. Over the years, Saladin proved himself as both a capable warrior and an astute ruler. By 1174, Saladin had consolidated his power, becoming the Sultan of Egypt and Syria. What set Saladin apart was his ability to unify the fractious Muslim states under one banner, rallying them for a single purpose: the liberation of Jerusalem. Tensions between the Crusaders and Saladin escalated in the mid-1180s, ignited by a series of provocations. Chief among them were the attacks led by Reynold of Chatillon, a Crusader lord infamous for his reckless behavior. Reynold repeatedly violated truces, targeting Muslim caravans and even threatening the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. For Saladin, these acts were not just insults, they were calls to war. By 1187, the stage was set for open confrontation. Saladin had amassed a vast army, pulling together forces from Egypt, Syria, and Mesopotamia. This unity was no small feat. It was a testament to Saladin's diplomatic skills and the respect he commanded. Facing him were the Crusader forces, primarily drawn from the Kingdom of Jerusalem, supplemented by additional troops from across Europe. The flashpoint came in July of that year when Saladin launched a campaign to lure the Crusaders into a decisive battle. His army crossed the River Jordan, raiding lands near Tiberias and the Sea of Galilee. Count Raymond III of Tripoli, who had allied with Saladin previously, urged caution, but King Guy and the Crusader leadership chose a more aggressive course of action. Against Raymond's advice, the Crusader army rallied and marched to confront Saladin. The move proved disastrous. Saladin had carefully calculated his strategy, using the harsh environment of the region to his advantage. On July 3rd, the Crusader forces set out from Sephoria, heading toward the village of Hattin. Laden with heavy armor and slowed by their large contingent, they marched under the relentless heat of the summer sun. Saladin's forces harassed them along the way, cutting off access to water sources and further sapping their strength. By the evening of July 3rd, the Crusaders, parched and exhausted, reached the plateau near Hattin. Here, surrounded by Saladin's forces, King Guy made the fateful decision to camp near the twin hills known as the Horns of Hattin. Saladin's army, well rested and positioned, encircled the Crusaders during the night, cutting off their escape routes and ensuring the trap was set. The morning of July 4th saw the battle begin in earnest. Saladin's forces attacked with precision, raining arrows on the Crusader army and setting dried grass alight to choke them with smoke. The Crusaders, struggling with dehydration and fatigue, were forced to make a desperate charge to break free, but Saladin's troops held firm. Among the Crusader ranks, divisions emerged. Some knights attempted to retreat, while others fought to the death. King Guy and the Templars rallied their forces for one last stand, but the outcome was inevitable. Saladin's strategy had left the Crusaders no chance of recovery, and the battlefield was soon littered with fallen soldiers. As the Crusader lines crumbled, Saladin achieved what many had thought impossible: the defeat of the Crusader army's core. Key Crusader leaders were captured, including King Guy and Reynald of Chatillon. Saladin personally ordered Reynald's execution, a punishment for his repeated provocations. King Guy, however, was spared, a reflection of Saladin's reputation for chivalry and calculated mercy. The victory at Hattin was monumental. With the Crusader forces shattered, Saladin marched toward the ultimate prize, Jerusalem itself. By October 1187, the Holy City, a symbol of Christian strength in the region, fell to Saladin's forces after a brief siege. Unlike the bloodshed that had marked the Crusader conquest of Jerusalem nearly a century earlier, Saladin showed restraint. He permitted Christian residents to leave or pay for their freedom, earning him a reputation in both the Islamic world and Europe as a magnanimous conqueror. The Battle of Hattin marked the beginning of the decline of Crusader dominance in the Levant. It was more than a military victory. It was a moment that reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the region. Saladin's triumph showcased the power of unity, strategy, and leadership, while the Crusaders' defeat underscored the fatal consequences of internal divisions and poor decision-making. The ripple effects of Hattin extended far beyond its battlefield. News of the Crusader defeat and the fall of Jerusalem shocked Europe, prompting the launch of the Third Crusade. Led by figures such as Richard the Lionheart, the Crusade aimed to regain control of Jerusalem. Though the outcome of the Third Crusade left an indelible mark on history, it would never fully reverse the gains made by Saladin at Hattin. In the end, the Battle of Hattin stands as a testament to the enduring themes of politics, unity, and human resilience in the face of conflict. It reminds us of Saladin's brilliance as a leader, a man who not only won on the battlefield, but also left a legacy of respect and diplomacy that continues to resonate through the ages. And as history turns its pages, the twin hills of Hattin remain a silent witness to the clash of empires and the shaping of a region's destiny.
Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.